Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler, surrounded by the lovable Doctrinaires. Man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews is here. Is Autumn with us?
She is.
I'm not sure. Okay, she's a woman of quite a few voices herself.
Autumn, I'm here
with
this voice.
That's the Autumn voice that the audience has come to know and love. Speaking of knowing and loving, you don't know him without loving him. Jared Yamamoto is here as well.
What's going on, Eric? How are you, man?
I'm in a good mood. I'm in a very good mood. There's lots of good things happening behind the scenes because we're getting ready to put together our big Christmas special, and everything's exciting, and people are submitting their work, and I'm very happy. I'm in a good mood. I'm worried because yesterday's show was just such an amazing show. I mean, not a foot put in the wrong place. Over 3.5 hours between the radio show and the podcast, which is fantastic, but then I worry all night long. I say to myself, Eric, can you top it? Can you top it? Well, I'll tell you what, we can try. Let's get going.
Hi, I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm running for president.
I'm going to run for president of the United States.
So I'm in this fight all the way.
I'm running to serve as the next president of the United States of America.
This is a moment in time that I feel a sense of responsibility to stand up and fight.
They call me Mayor Pete, and I am running for president of the United States.
That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for president of the United States.
When we start running, keep America great! Exclamation point.
Trail mix.
Highly unorthodox, I must say, to open the show with trail mix, but because we had the big debate in town last night, we decided that we would do that, and we hope we haven't jarred you. We hope
I can't believe you do that to the audience.
Well, I hope that it's not disconcerting to anybody in the audience. We are shaking things up a bit. Yes, sir?
I love the fact that you're starting with it because I stayed overnight. I just stumbled out of Magic City. What a wonderful... I made it rain until about 5 a.m. Fantastic. Yeah. Beautiful. I'll shut up now. Do your show.
All right, thank you. No, Bernie, you're more than... They're all still in town, I guess, because many of them are making an appearance today at Empowered Luncheon. I think it's for superheroes. You have to be empowered.
Iron Man will be there. Black Panther. The Captain Marvel lady.
Oh, yeah.
So, of course, as usual, hey, don't think I was dragged down into things just because I love the great state of Georgia and the metro Atlanta area. Why? You know I do. Doesn't mean that kind of pride would make me sit down and actually watch that debate last night. However, I had my people on it, woke up extra early this morning, saw whatever people were talking about. So we'll just start with my observations. Here's my first observation from all the clips. I've probably seen 20 clips from last night. My first observation, mind you, not my last, but my first is... Joe Biden is really old. He's really, he's showing his age. And, what is he, 78? And this is not ageism. I myself just turned the old double nickel this year. I know what it's like to be an aging person in this society.
Yesterday was his birthday. He turned 77.
Is that all? The only surprise there is that I thought you would say 87.
I'll be 112 by the time I get out of the White House. That's it. You mark that down, buddy.
Seemed that my favorite, I don't know that there were just major blunders by him, but he doesn't seem to be able to put together a full... Not only sentence, and if he makes it to a sentence, he's one of these guys where you're rooting for him, whether you like him or not. He's like, come on, Joe, you can get there. You know he's got an idea of where he's going. Come on. Let's start with, so he's making a point about how men do not have a right to hit women, which, by the way, I'm glad that finally came up in a presidential debate. Is there still debate? The word debate is there. Now, I don't know the context, but why we would need in 2019 for a presidential candidate to say. Now, the first part seems to make a lot of sense.
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs.
All right, so far so good. And then he says, well, I guess his point is, it's the struggle, right? You have to, I think what he wants to say is you want to persist, and you got to keep on going if you want to make sure that we get less domestic abuse, I guess. But his choice of words, a little strange.
And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
So he's going to punch at domestic violence.
Doesn't that make any sense? You just got to keep punching at it, punching at it, punching.
Punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
So this is your solution to violence in America is you keep
punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
Now, furthermore, you can put your hands around his throat, just choke it. Just choke.
Hey, it's fight fire with fire.
That's right. You got to fight fire with fire. You choke it, throw it in a closet. Don't let it out for a couple weeks. Don't give
You need to commit domestic violence on domestic violence.
Yes.
That's right. Right in your home there. What Jared just wrote me here. Slap it across the face, he says.
Yes, slap violence right across the face.
Yeah, slap it right in the face. It's hysterical, this violence. You got to shake it, straighten it up.
And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. Punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
All right, you keep punching long enough, and you will have, I guess, effectively beat down violence.
Hey, you want to stop car theft? You got to steal yourself. Just drive around. Every car, never stop it. Just keep driving and driving. Just drive and drive.
Stealing and stealing and stealing. If you want to get rid of theft.
Yeah, buddy. Where am I?
You're in Atlanta, Joe.
Here's another moment.
I love North Carolina.
Okay, to walk you through this one, Joe is talking about his, and he does have the most support amongst African Americans, especially in the South, down in South Carolina, if you look at the polling, and which is maybe surprising to people given the fact that Cory Booker is in the field, Kamala Harris is in the field. So he's trying to make the point of why he has had these long-lasting ties with the African American voters. And he must have gotten the endorsement. Who was the first African-American senator? I remember, was it Carol Moseley?
Carol Moseley Braun.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's speaking about her, because right now Kamala Harris is the only African-American female in the Senate, right?
Yes.
So the first was Carol Moseley Braun. And he must be talking about her, but he forgot that Kamala Harris is a current sitting senator, and he seems to forget that as he says he got the endorsement from the only black woman ever elected to the Senate, and then Kamala Harris has to say, excuse me.
If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus, the only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people. My point is...
That's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. First African-American. So my point is, one of the reasons I was picked to be vice president was because of my relationship, long-standing relationship with the black community.
And let's remember, and then he goes, no, I say the first. No, Joe, you didn't say the first.
That's what I said first.
Let's hear him again. He said the only.
If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus, the only African-American woman that ever been elected to...
There it is.
The
Blafrican.
Hey, in my defense, I thought she was Indian.
Joe, stop. Quit while you're at it.
I thought I saw her brother working at 7-Eleven. Stand up.
Quit while you're behind.
Well, everyone was laughing. I mean, he just kept trudging through. His eyes got all big, and he's like,
look, he's been around long enough to know at this point what's going to hurt him, and he can't stop himself. And the reason, now this happens to candidates quite often. You saw it happen to Bob Dole and John McCain. Now, this is not Joe Biden's problem, but it ends up being the same thing. Bob Dole and John McCain, the two things about them that people knew them was that they had a very sharp wit. But a very sharp wit behind closed doors is wonderful. Out in public, it can be triggering, even before we got to triggering. Like, what's funny behind closed doors, because you're not afraid to say it and you're funny, is one thing. And their consultants, both for Dole and McCain, said, look, that's not going to play on the big stage. So what happened was they removed 75% of their personality, which was their sense of humor. Now, that's not Joe Biden's problem. I don't see him as a hilarious guy behind closed doors. But what his problem is, he knows that he's prone to these gaffes, even when he was younger. And now that he's older, he knows when he gets in the middle of them. But it's like Dole and McCain in the sense that just be yourself. Be who you are. Hey, be the comforting, doddering old man. Be whatever you are, because you got a better shot at just, laugh at yourself. There I go. I'm angling again. But you know what I mean? I'm Joe. That's the only chance that you have, is just be yourself. And when you see him, Jared, he didn't acknowledge that Kamala Harris got a laugh. I mean, she got a big laugh. That laugh kept going on, and he just kept straight forward, like, I got to keep going. This is what my people have told me. This is a problem point. Act like, but no, stop and go, oh, I'm an idiot. Of course. Right?
Yeah.
I'm 79.
And you would be much better off than to pretend. He tried to pretend that it wasn't happening. Now, that's a good new strategy for Eric Von Haessler, sports fan. I told you my new strategy is when my favorite teams win, I celebrate. When they lose, I pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy. But in the middle of a debate, you just can't pretend that something didn't happen. You should have turned around. You should have played, you're right. I deserve that.
I'm sorry about that, Kamala. You're number 2, and you're number 1 to me.
Yeah, do you have the marijuana one between him and Booker?
I do have that one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I have a lot of respect for the vice president. He has sworn me into my office as a hero. This week, I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it. Let me tell you.
Hey, were you high when you said it?
I tell you that this guy is up here on the stage. That's me. I never even touched that stuff. I'll tell you what happened back in the old days when I was working at that pool. Corn Pop, the guy I told you about?
Yeah. Hold on.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Yeah.
He's a bad dude. He's always high on grass. His eyes were always pink. He's always stoned out of his mind. That's what made him violent. And I knew that back then, stuff that makes you violent is crazy. That grass will make you crazy, make you want to fight people. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
See, that guy right there, he said it.
Because Corn Pop at the pool, that you were the, what were you, you were a lifeguard.
I was a lifeguard back, and I saw a slim, good-looking young
you were
fella.
Good fella. Yeah, you were.
Very good-looking man. Prematurely bald, dead, nobody cares about that.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
You deal with Corn Pop.
He was selling loose joints, maybe little dime bags around that pool. All them kids was getting high, and that's what he's so violent about.
And so, we know you don't like violence. You have a plan to combat violence.
Punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
So, you got to punch at the violence, and a guy like Corn Pop becomes a guy, Corn Pop selling weed.
Yeah.
You want to stop people from selling weed, you got to sell your own. That's why I got really good. Joe Biden Kush right here. It's being grown at Joe Biden Farms in Colorado. Get yourself some. We got indica strains. We got sativas. All the good stuff.
I do like the fact that the legalization of marijuana, at least in one of the parties, is seen as you're out of touch if you're not for it. That's the beginning. We got the Republicans, who should be the legalize it party. Should be, what would the notions of freedom and choice that we hear about so often. That's going to be the stumbling block in the Senate, because I think the House is going to, at some point before the next election, pass something federal. Not basically saying it's not illegal in a federal sense, meaning 10th Amendment. Republicans, remember your Constitution, 10th Amendment, leave it to the states. Let the states. The parties just crisply, if you're on the left, choice is really important, unless it's about school or anything else. And then on the right, freedom and all of these things and
individual liberty
and the states should be able to decide, except when it comes to marijuana. That's just too much.
Well, that's too bad for you.
If you're in favor of legalizing marijuana, you obviously never dealt with Corn Pop.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
No, he's always going around telling people, hey, we got to legalize weed.
Yeah,
It sounds like Joe Biden is doing a Obama impression there.
Corn Pop is a bad dude. And so let me just say, hope and change.
Go on to another thing.
I hope I could change my depends.
Depends.
Yeah. Hey, wait, you're not going to give him a dad joke for that? If I would have done that, I would have gotten him on him as a dad joke.
But he's not a dad.
Corn Pop like wordplay. I'm happy to be a new grandpa.
Like the people listening to us go, oh, he is a dad. As a matter of fact, to that Hunter Biden, who they need to look into, the president was absolutely right. But I think I know one thing we can all agree on.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
I love that.
Hey, Snap and Crackle weren't so good either.
No, Snap.
Hey, dad joke.
Hey,
dad joke.
I knew it.
See,
she bust only me.
That was a good joke. I gotta say, that was a good joke. If I could smile, I would be smiling.
I mean, the lies. I'll tell you something about Democrats. We're going to have to break here in a moment. We'll do more of this as we go on. The Democrats, they say Donald Trump is a liar. Okay, whatever. That's your political point of view. But the lies last night. Do you quickly have Cory Booker talking about this voter suppression?
Oh, he saved it for the very end of the debate, Eric.
Right here in this great state of Georgia, it was the voter suppression, particularly of African-American communities, that prevented us from having a Governor Stacey Abrams right now.
That is a lie. That is a lie. That did not happen. Look into it. I heard Bill Crane this morning. He knows a lot about this stuff. Dug into the numbers. Out of the 330,000 people that were, because the people move away and stuff, it turns out that 30 voters in the state of Georgia were incorrectly removed from the rolls. That is a lie. Cory Booker knows it's a lie. Hey, what is the long history of the state of Georgia electing leftist governors? You know what? We'll take a break and we come back. You guys can throw all those names at me as if it's so. It was just a slam dunk this time that the state of Georgia. Oh, absolutely. They would have elected a leftist governor, no doubt.
Warning! Do not chug milk before listening, because you will laugh out loud.
Milk was a bad choice.
Eric and the Doctrinaires, mornings at 9. Mark Aram, evenings at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
A little bit of squeeze there. All right, we'll talk more about the impeachment. Not impeachment, I'm sorry, I get it all confused. All the things that are going on that are big that I don't care about blend together. Impeachment, debates, all of that. What is today? Today is
it's the Great American Smokeout, 44th day.
Tim, please.
Hey, hold on. Can we go to break? I need this most.
Yes. The Great American Smokeout. Do we know which number one? Which one is this? Is this the whatever annual?
44th.
This is the one that started in the 70s, and it was sponsored on TV by Larry Hagman from Dallas and I Dream of Jeannie. For years. He quit smoking years and years ago, and he lived probably 20 years longer than he would have.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd think that would be an inspiration for you, Tim Andrews, but... Have you ever, in these 44 years, thought, on this? Because my guess would be, if you try to quit smoking on the Great American Smokeout, you're probably going to fail.
Well, you'd have to know about it, and I didn't know about it.
Yeah. No, but I mean, if you try, on a day like that, you're going to fail. The time you're ready to quit smoking, you know it.
You know it. You don't follow arbitrary rules or days.
Says Tim Andrews.
With the kids, it's called November. They don't do any of that stuff to themselves that we all don't do anymore because we're old. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh, really? Is that a thing in November?
No-fap November.
You know what squirrels are burying in the ground right now for winter?
I get it. But so I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That you could do.
I never went through that phase.
Than smoking.
I never went through that phase.
Not smoking. You never did, huh?
I'm not a trend hopper.
One weekend in April.
Hey, let's give up breathing for a day while we're at it. Yeah, I was so excited about that debate last night. I forgot that there's still impeachment hearings going on. Yeah, these aren't your daddy's impeachment hearings. These are rock and roll impeachment hearings. Yeah. We still playing it over on AM 750?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, people would like to leave entertainment and information and go over and be bored out of their minds, they can go to AM 750 and watch. Who's up there now?
I'm not sure who's up there now because they've got the bottom line over it now. But you notice how the note card every single day, names are getting bigger and bigger, and the note card is getting bigger and bigger as well.
This is the thing that has the ambassador's name or whoever's name it is.
Yes,
it just gets larger and larger, and the reason is because the whole thing is put on to convince dumb people to be in favor of whatever the politicians are selling. You're talking about people who did polled quid pro quo, found out most people don't know what it means, so they just started saying bribery. So they're going to play it down for everybody. Must be that anybody who's still sitting at home watching this on a daily basis is older than the presidential candidates themselves. And
it really is retired and jobless.
Yeah, and you can't see it, so they keep blowing up the name Ambassador. Yeah, I can see.
Excuse me, I called in sick all week, so I watch these.
It's important.
Actually, I didn't really even go last week I took vacation days. This week I'll just call in sick.
Yeah, because this is important that you see.
I don't want to see our democracy fail.
You want to see your democracy not fail. That's what you want to see.
No, I said I don't want to see our democracy fail.
You don't want to see it.
Democracy doesn't
Excuse me, you say don't want?
I didn't want to see your democracy fail.
You do want to see it fail.
Yeah, I said I didn't want to.
I can't understand a word this guy's saying. Yes, sir. Eric, yes, sir, over there, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
from the AP.
Mr. over there. Yes, Mr. Von Haessler.
I like that character, Mr. Over there.
I do, too.
It's just a name. Somebody make up the character. It's Mr. Over there.
I'd like to ask another question, please.
All right.
Yes. You know what? You'll be upset about this because several of the Republicans on
Don't tell me what I'll be upset about.
Impeachment inquiry were stealing your beloved phrase.
All right, hold on. Before you play this, I got to say this is we lifted this. Now this is is it Jeannie Mose?
Jeannie Mose from CNN. That's
she has been doing this beat. I don't know how you do this wordplay beat since the early 90s. On CNN. I guess it's daily. I can't imagine how many. I remember watching these things in the early 90s where she'll find somebody saying something funny or something. And I guess now if people who listen to this show know that one of my many sayings is 2 + 2 = 4. That's the thing. That's the one thing we know is true. When you talk about your truth, my truth, isn't it interesting that your truth and my truth both agree that 2 + 2 = 4? See, because that's true, and we can't disagree that it's true. So I say that all the time as a touchstone for what truth is. 2 + 2 = 4, right here. In California, on the moon, on Mars, the other side of the universe, anywhere you go, 2 + 2 = 4. That makes it a universal truth. And I guess this Jeannie Mose, who is filing her 1 billionth package on wordplay, picked up on it, and a lot of people in the impeachment proceedings are saying the same thing. So I want to give credit where credit's due. This was put together by the Jeannie Mose.
Is this kind of a 2 + 2 = 4 conclusion that you reached?
Pretty much.
2 + 2 = 4?
That's your 2 + 2 part of the equation, right?
It's not 2 + 2, it's 0 for 3.
2 presumptions plus 2 presumptions does not equal even one fact.
Excuse me, I'm still celebrating the Great American Smokeout.
Sorry.
When is the Great American Cough Out? Listen to this. Just get it out of your lungs,
That's
people.
Next Tuesday.
It's got to be better for you if you get it out of your lungs. There you go.
You're going to hold that in that long?
Yeah, wait till... No.
It's for every Monday morning.
Uh-oh. Sounds like Lindsay Lohan is getting involved in the Great American...
No, the cough out.
The cough out.
Oh, yeah. It's every Monday. So, I party all weekend, you know?
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah.
And then, I just really get it all.
and you don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
No.
You should see what comes out.
No,
it's like a rainbow.
Oh, really? Yeah, because it's a Lindsay Lohan cough.
Yeah.
Full of
Skittles.
Colors.
Yeah. Well, we wish you the best of luck there.
You don't want to taste this rainbow.
How you doing, though, health-wise, overall?
Oh, I'm in the best shape of my life. That last stint in rehab really helped me center myself and find a lot of the truths of my past.
Yeah, Lindsay, you sound great.
Are you still in Greece, Lindsay? I mean, what are you doing? It seems like that'd be a rather healthy place to live.
I think she found a businessman from Chad.
Yeah.
Who's now
the former republic of...
Oh, I'm sorry. Was somebody there with you? All right, Lindsay Lohan. We wish you the best of luck, though. You sound great. Though. You sound.
Hey, I know. I mean, I'm doing great.
I know you You are. Wonderful. All right, have we opened the segment
We
yet?
have not.
Oh, let's do that then. What the hell?
Headlines for Thursday, November 21st.
All right, and then, so in the... Ooh. Oh, my, this sounds...
If I can't have you,
I don't want to fight a baby. So in the impeachment thing... I have no. So yesterday, the news is telling me the Sondland. What's his name? Gordon Sondland?
Yes.
Isn't that Sting?
Yes, it is.
I just want to impeach you.
Yay!
Gordon Sondland is the ambassador to the EU. And Gordon Sondland was originally a Jeb Bush supporter. He's one of these guys, they have on both sides. They're just rich, and they pick a candidate, and then they give money. So he liked Jeb Bush. He was on Jeb Bush early. And then when Trump started picking up steam and he realized, okay, I'm not going to be against him. Then when the Access Hollywood thing came out, this guy Sondland was like, nope, I can't support this. Then after he was elected, Sondland gave $1 million to the inauguration festivities, I believe. So when people say that he's, look, these rich people buy ambassadorships. This is nothing new. It's it's a cush job in most places, unless you're going to be the ambassador to, say, like Ukraine. That's a real job. But most ambassadorships, countries we get along with, you go there, you drink wine, you wine and dine people, you deliver messages, and something anybody can do. So usually, if you give enough money, you can get an ambassadorship. That's what this guy did. But his money came in very late with Trump. He was not with him the whole way. So late, his $1 million came in so late, Trump was already elected president. So it was for the inauguration thing. So he's not exactly the tightest with Trump. And
maybe
his
check didn't clear on time.
He already it didn't clear to the inauguration.
It bounced.
Now, this guy already had to revise his testimony from the secret testimony where he said, I didn't know anything and no quid pro quo. Now, all of a sudden, he's coming out and he's saying that there definitely was a quid pro quo. That would be number 19.
Was there a quid pro quo? The answer is yes.
Okay, so I told you. That's him saying there
the
was
answer
a quid.
is
But then it gets... I'm sorry, Mr. Sondland?
The answer is yes.
Now, go back to 18, and here's the problem in terms of impeachment. Do you have an issue to run against Trump in 2020? Yes. But is it impeachment? So he just said... he said there was a quid pro quo. Yes, there was. Now he explains himself a little more, and we get, I concluded that this was so.
I later came to believe that the resumption of security aid would not occur until there was a public statement from Ukraine committing to the investigations.
I later came to believe is now maybe he's correct. Maybe every one of us, if we were there, would have drawn the same conclusion. But again, he wasn't told. As a matter of fact, there's one part, we don't have the audio here, but this is what Trump was talking about. When Trump came out and said, I want nothing, no quid pro quo, he was quoting Sondland saying that he, at one point, just asked the president, and he said the president was in a bad mood or whatever. He said, I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing. Now, the reality is he may have known at that point that there was trouble afoot with this and wanted to get on the record with Sondland that he didn't want it. But none of that, all of that, again, everything that I'm bringing up, is that good for television ads during the election by Democrats to point out? Yes. But that's not the question here. The question here is it enough to, remember, it's never been done in the history of this country, nullifying an election and removing a sitting president. Don't give me Nixon. You're an idiot. He resigned when he knew it would happen. Why did Nixon resign? Interesting thing. Nixon was not a good guy in the things that he did. But why did he resign? One of the reasons he resigned, well, he didn't personally want to be humiliated by being the first president impeached or removed from office. But another part of it was he didn't want to put the country through what that was, because he knew there would still be Dick Nixon fans out there. There would still be people who voted for him, and we've never done this before. We don't know how those voters react. We've never removed a president who was duly elected. We don't know. Does that end up on the streets? Does that end up? And Nixon knew part of that. Beyond the humiliation of it, he didn't want to see what would happen when the people who are still with him. So you can't hit the streets if your president leaves the office, simply decides to resign and take some air out of the room. We've never done this before. The Democrats don't even realize what they're trying to do. We've never done it before, where 63 million people voted for a person to be president. They've been president, and then through rules, constitutional rules, that president is removed. We don't know what happens then. We know how loyal Trumpers are. Do they just throw their hands up and go, oh, well? Or does it become something that gets played out in the streets? We don't know. That's the kind of fire that's being played with here, and that's the standard when you ask yourself, not if this was wrong, the call, Giuliani, all of that stuff, or if it was improper, but is it impeachable and worth nullifying an election, removing a president, something we have never done before? And that's where I say no. Do you have a campaign issue? And they know this, too. They know he's not going to be removed. They're not going to get 20 Republicans in the Senate to remove him. But what they want to do is right now what they're doing is they're creating television ads for the 2020 cycle, the general election, when it happens. And that's what you would expect them to do. You know what they're not doing on either side? Giving a damn about this country. Tim Andrews, can you stop showing me pictures of myself when I was young?
Look at all that hair. Brown hair. The scruff is brown.
Who is that guy?
Why did I have such low self-esteem then? I was good looking.
You were handsome as hell.
Holy
I told you
hell,
that.
I didn't know that back then.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, Jerry.
That's me. I was young. Hey, you're looking at you in the future, all right? It happens to everybody.
Hey, listen, my dad and my grandfather both have excellent heads of hair.
That's true. Your dad looks younger than you.
He does.
And I don't think he is. I don't think he is younger than you.
That'd be impossible.
Hey, do we have that story? That I heard Veronica, Ronnie Waters, has a story about a vape shop. Was it in Cobb County?
I believe so.
It got busted. And so if I understand the story, this guy was selling marijuana on the shelves, and then when the cops came in, he said, no, that's not marijuana. But he may not have realized that they have ways to test that sort of thing. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, this was heard first on Atlanta's Morning News.
Smells like marijuana.
Marietta police officer Chuck McPhillamy says not only was store owner Billy Christian selling...
Is that Chuck McPhillamy?
Store owner Billy Christian selling marijuana. Chuck McPhillamy says not only was store owner Billy Christian selling...
Chuck McPhillamy.
Hi, Chuck McPhillamy here.
Police officer Chuck McPhillamy says not only was store owner Billy Christian selling marijuana, he advertised as not marijuana.
This was very bold of this shop owner to place these items in plain view and then to claim that they were not what they in fact were.
He had people hand-making kratom tablets. That's a legal drug here, which acts like heroin, in a room McPhillamy says was filthy.
What we saw would have you terrified. The conditions were atrocious.
Officer seized 100 pounds of the dusty substance and 9 pounds of pot. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Remember Dusty Substance?
I do.
She was great. 60s.
She had a real smoky voice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Where is the shop again?
It was closed down now, I would imagine.
Oh.
I have more to say on this one. What marijuana? That's a great defense. Huh? No, that's not. Hour 2. Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Yeah, Tim is still showing everybody in the office these pictures of Eric Von Haessler when he was young. I don't know, mid-30s. Showed it to, I was standing right there. Showed it to one of our digital producers, Bertha. I'm standing right there, and Tim says, you recognize that guy? I think it took her a while, and then she looked at me, and I think she thought, well, maybe. And then, but later, and then she said that. And then later, as I was coming back to the studio, she said, well, you looked really cool back then, but I think you look wiser now. Is that a compliment, really?
That is a compliment.
It's a compliment, but do you have to lose cool to get wise?
You don't have to be old to be wise.
It's like a Broadway song.
Well, it's better than...
You have to lose cool just to get wise.
It's better than you being called creepy.
No, I'm never creepy.
No one calls him that.
I make... when the last thing that I say to myself when combing my hair and looking in the mirror before I leave my house every morning is, Eric, I say, don't be creepy. And then I snap my fingers and I give myself the finger gun. And then I'm out of there in the mirror. Eric, don't be creepy. And I go with it. So I'm not creepy. I may be really creepy, like most everybody actually is in real life when they're by themselves completely knowing that no one's looking. I may be just as creepy as the next guy. But in public, not creepy.
I think it'd be creepy if you left the blinds open a little bit. You have the blinds shut, you're not creepy. You leave them open a little bit.
Who leaves the blinds open?
Well, it's a thrill.
Well, I've never understood the thrill. I mean, in any kind of context of relations with the world, whether you're with yourself or others, I have never, that whole maybe we'll get caught. No, I don't want to get caught.
Maybe I'll go to jail and be put on a list.
Yeah. Hey, if there's an idea that I could get caught, guess what? I'm never going to be able to perform. That's a real turnoff to me, the idea of being caught.
Oh, come on.
And some people are like, yeah.
Take some risks, man.
Although have you noticed that when things go on outdoors with people, one of two things happens. If you're caught, like let's say you're at a local stadium, you find a little place, and you and your favorite person in the whole wide world do your thing together. There's two things that can have outcome of that. One is you're caught at the moment, and you're public enemy number one. We're talking about you on WSB the next day. It's humiliation. It's everything. Or two, you're not caught. And for the rest of your life, you have this great story you tell people at parties, and everybody thinks this is the greatest thing in the world, so long as you're not caught. But if you're caught, you're the biggest pervert of all time.
Oh, yeah, it was right by those urinal troughs.
Oh yeah, well, look,
so romantic.
I know how you are.
Oh, in this day and age, 20 people have their camera out videotaping you.
That's right.
And then you're everywhere
Can't get away
forever.
with anything.
Right.
Can't get away with anything. I tell you what, I go out on the road to these radio conventions, and, these phones now, I can't even sit at the bar with an attractive young lady. And so he puts that up on social media, and your wife's like, well, who's that?
I don't know, honey. I don't know. She was sitting next to me.
I have no idea. She does overnights in Des Moines. She was asking me. She said that I looked wise.
At the truck stop.
She said I looked wise.
She's thinking about taking over afternoon drive in Macon.
I'm just giving, you know what I'm doing? I'm just giving her a little, do they have an afternoon drive in Macon?
Hey, you're mentoring her.
I am mentoring, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, 475 backs up all the time.
That does happen, to a lot of people who used to be able to, job had traveling in it. I don't know if you're like, even if you're like Maroon 5, right? And you're traveling all over the place. If it was the 70s, it's just, your girlfriend, your wife has no idea what's going on around the world. But now, with everybody having a phone, and especially if you're in a Maroon 5, if you're a bar anywhere, so it's. You
had to have a Polaroid, and you had to know an address, and then you had to mail it.
Yeah. The good old days. The good old days. Do you have some open mics?
I have a ton of open mics. They're all over the place, but people want to weigh in.
They're all over the place. What do you mean by that? They're all over? Meaning you have had to wrangle these open mics?
Oh, my gosh. All the listeners are just like, I want to say this. I want to say that. I want to say this. And
they're not staying on one theme is what you're saying.
But you know what? We have such awesome listeners.
Stop pandering.
Let's let them all in.
They don't need to hear that. Let me tell you something. Our listeners are not like other listeners. They're like me. They don't need to be told how wonderful. Well, actually, I do need that quite a bit. But beyond that, we don't need all this millennial love. So it's okay. I think that people assume that the host of this show appreciates their patronage, and I know they appreciate the show. So we don't have to pander, you understand, to people because we have a real product that is worth finding, seeking, and having. So that's why we don't sound like everything else on the radio, because we're not desperate for your business. You don't like me? Get the hell out. That's what I say. But not many people are going to, and some who do will come back because they're going to go over wow, that is the landscape of radio just sucks. I got to go back to this guy I don't like. I get him coming and going. All right, what do you got?
Now, before we get to the impeachment open mics, this young man wants to weigh in on the
man,
because I couldn't remember right offhand. I think it's a man. He wanted to weigh in on our Christmas special. It's coming out on Thanksgiving.
Hey everybody, is it too late to write a Fred Blankenship nude scene into the Christmas special? Just asking for a friend. Thanks.
How dare you? How
dare you
speak of that man, Fred Blankenship, in that context. I will not have it. However, the great Fred Blankenship is part of the Christmas show and has a great role in it. I will not spoil it and tell you. But we got a lot of work to do today and tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
It's just
some all-nighters.
This whole show is inside my head. Everybody just shut up and follow me.
Hey, I'm here for the day, just waiting for your command.
All right, there you go. I like that.
See how that goes, Jared? That's what you got to do.
I like that. Now, this next open micer, you have influenced someone to go out and see that new movie, Jojo Rabbit.
I said Jojo Rabbit. My wife and I saw it over the weekend. Best movie I've seen in years. And I would say, I'm telling you, maybe I'll overrate it. You'll say, oh, Eric, you're overrating it. I think that this movie does everything that movies make possible in one movie. And I think it's perfect. And as I was walking out, I said to my wife, because I don't care about awards, but I was like, whatever awards show, just give them all to them. Just everybody in that movie, who made that movie, who funded that movie, the guy who wrote the book. You know, it's an original film, and it's wonderful. Anyway, so somebody went and saw it.
You're an influencer now, Eric.
Now I'm a YouTube influencer.
This is Jacob from Colbert, Georgia again. Let me tell you, Eric, you're not wrong about that movie, Jojo Rabbit. My wife and I just went to see it, and it's probably my favorite movie now, and it might be one of the greatest movies of all time. I laughed, I cried, I laughed again, I cried again. It takes you on one crazy ride. It is just wonderful. It's very refreshing to see such a well-done piece of art. Thank you very much for your show, for recommending it.
You're welcome. Is that Tom Bodette? I thought I was going to say...
Well, they left the light on.
They leave the light. They leave the light on.
We'll leave the light on for you.
No, it sounds like people say, oh, it can't be that good. And when you look at these movies, everything that's failing now, I can't... Charlie's Angels. What did Elizabeth Banks blame?
She blamed it on men.
Yeah. You know, I blame it on people are tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. When I talk about Jojo Rabbit, you don't have to say, which movie... that features a 10-year-old who has Hitler as an invisible friend. No, there's only one. That means it's an original idea. It's an original. It's obvious. It came from a book, which I have not read, but I just can't recommend it enough. And I don't know. I mean, if you just like to see things blow up, or you like those stupid rom-coms, I don't know. But if you like movies, this is the best one I've seen in years. It's just great.
Now, that person thinks you're an influencer. This lady is upset with your take on the impeachment hearings.
Uh-oh.
Eric, I can't believe that you said that the whole impeachment thing is to convince dumb people. I mean, I think that we all can agree that the president has lied and has done some stuff that was inappropriate. Maybe you don't agree he should be kicked out of office, but he definitely is no saint, and he's done a lot of things that frankly, no other president has done. I just think that you are very narrow-minded when it comes to the Republicans. And you don't sound very much like an independent anymore. I think you're definitely a Republican.
Well, I really don't give a damn what you think.
You can't win either way.
I love when people are like, what am I supposed to do with that? Hey, perhaps that lady got to something. Maybe I don't know myself. Perhaps maybe I should think about stopping lying to my audience every day about who I really am and what I really think. But I can't because the research is in, you see. And they tell me to get better ratings, I have to act like I'm somebody I'm not. And that may not seem like a good thing, but I want to be successful. So therefore, what is people? Everything that she said there proves my point. Everything, the president's bad. He said, okay, fine. Don't vote for him. There's nothing that she said that this is impeachable. And when I say for dumb people, first of all, this caller is not included. This caller falls into the left bin of no need for convincing, already knows what she thinks. There's plenty of people in the right bin, no need of convincing, already know what they think. This show that's being put on is not for either of those two audiences. It's for what's called the swing voter, the biggest dummy in America. You know, the lowest common denominator, the swing voter, the people who choose based on who has the best haircut, not policy.
Oh, he's handsome.
A good voter on either side votes for the candidate that comes closest to expressing the ideas in policy that you believe. Not, wow, that's a great campaign. You know, the swing voter, if the McCain campaign looked more like the Obama campaign, like if the Obama campaign had fizzled out and been flat and, you know, lifeless, and McCain had been charging and on fire, the swing voter that voted for Obama would have swung toward McCain. The shiniest, flashiest metal object. And so that's what I'm talking about. You're always playing for the dumbest voter, commonly known as the swing voter. The swing voter who has no worldview or philosophy whatsoever that can be expressed in policy is just, well, whoever's got the best haircut and seems cheeriest out there. That's who they're playing for, the dummies. My producer, Jared Yamamoto, said to me, we were looking for, you only fit one story in this little segment here. And he said, Frozen 2's coming out. That'd be a good kicker story.
Kicker.
So give me the kicker story.
Yeah, Frozen 2 is poised to be Disney's $6th billion film of 2019.
I'm not impressed. Hey, I never saw Frozen. I think I'm the only person alive who never saw Frozen, but I read about it. And then I've been reading about this one. So they're all lesbians now or something, right? Is that what? A few months ago,
they woke up.
Everybody's.
You could make that assumption from the first one, but
everybody
it's not
in Frozen.
blatant.
Everybody in Frozen too. So there's a lesbian, right? This is what I'm reading.
Well,
I've never saw the first one myself.
You could definitely.
I don't have any problem with it. I'm not one of these people. You know me. I'm an open-minded person. I believe in live and let live. Rights, but that's what I read. I read everybody's a lesbian in this one.
Frozen 2, the thawing.
You could definitely see a climate change aspect of this film.
Oh, what a surprise.
But I'll let the trailer do the job for it.
Here's a movie I'll never see. Oh, it's good to have Enya back. Oh, wow. That sounds... What? Does anything happen in this movie? Or do they just... That's the whole trailer?
Apparently.
Nobody's doing anything?
Well, it's an animated film.
They still speak, don't they? And they sing?
Well, there's probably just scenes underneath.
What was the big song from the last... Let It Go. Right. Yeah. Let It Go. And... what's on this one? Out of the Closet is the...
Still Medell Dezine.
John Travolta.
Zemelda Berlin, and the new movie's coming out. Oh, that made a mistake.
I have no children anymore. My children are grown-up people, so I would never see this. But even back when they were not grown-up people, this would have fallen under the category of things... my wife does with the kids.
Yeah, but Google users, 93% of them say that this movie is pretty good.
It's not out yet.
Paid off.
How do they know it's not out yet?
83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
83% of the people who haven't seen it love it.
I can't wait to see.
How is this possible?
It's fantastic. I can't wait to see it.
He also said it opens tomorrow, but there are showtimes at 6 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those early release.
I guess when you're Disney, you make the rules. What are you telling me? I have to talk about that? Who cares? Oh, what we're doing the AM 750 split?
Yeah.
And people want to leave great shows such as this and this one, and then there's also this show that's on WSB. If you want to leave a great show and go be bored out of your mind and listen to what they're doing over on the impeachment hearings, you go to AM 750. But if you have a pulse, you stay right here, 95.5 WSB, where we do the Eric Von Haessler Doctrine show. And I tell you, I'm in a really good mood. Dr. Joe, we'll get to you in just a moment. I know you're chomping at the bit over there. Man's got an ego the size of a school bus. In just a moment here. We're working on the next couple of days on the Christmas special. It's really coming together great. And I just got English Nick and his buddy Randy. Remember last year we opened the show with the song that I wrote and Chris Chandler did the music for, and I sang "Thismas is my kind of Christmas." And so this year, English Nick and his buddy Randy, they're the what I'm calling the Sands Triberian Orchestra in that style. They did a version of This Is My Kind of Christmas that is so good. I think it's going to become a brand new Christmas classic. Plus, Driving and Crying, I just got their version of Run, Rudolph, Run. I mean, this is going to be an unbelievable Christmas show. I'm very happy. I'm already in the Christmas spirit. Can you sense it, people? I'm already in the Christmas spirit. I have not punched Jared Yamamoto in the face in over 48 hours because, you know what? I am in the Christmas spirit. So let's do this.
Sparring with Dr. Joe.
Greg Russ sings a song, too. He's the villain. It's the Von Haessler Doctrine Christmas special. The subtitle is The Greg That Stole Christmas.
Autumn and Christina are singing as well.
Autumn is singing, of course. Christina is singing. We got lots of music.
I'm not singing.
You're not singing.
No.
You really
I'm going to rap.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to be busting rhymes.
You have a large part in the show.
I wasn't complaining. I'm just letting the people know.
This one. I didn't get a song. Now I got to deal with this. I didn't get a song.
I didn't say that.
Oh, Dr. Joe, do you do mental therapy at all? Is it just
crack the back and then your brain, will fall on the line.
Yeah. Okay. Can you crack his mind?
Crack my mind, Joe.
So, Joe, Dr. Joe here. We talk about health and lifestyle issues that are in the current events. How are you doing, sir?
I couldn't be happier.
Yeah,
and
you in the
so
Christmas
good to
spirit?
see you. I am. You're looking great. I've got to compliment you on
losing weight. I got to tell you, though, I mentioned this yesterday. There are downsides to losing weight because I flew back to Western New York this weekend, and I'm losing the cushioning in my behind, in my buttocks. With this weight loss, I never really had much of a behind to begin with.
I never noticed
but anything I had back there. So now it's all bony when I sit down.
Bony butt.
Yeah, I have a bony butt. I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun. But overall the benefits outweigh
the tuchus issues.
Yes. How often am I sitting on a plane?
Yeah.
Although next year my wife is forcing me to go to the where's Prague? The Czech Republic.
That's right. Is.
Yeah. Berlin and Prague, and I've never been on a plane that long. So I might have to put some weight back on.
Get some squats going.
Yeah. Oh, you tell me I have to replace this with muscle?
Yes.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, this is getting too difficult.
See if I can get you some padded undies or something.
Maybe I'll just
for women. Maybe they have them for men. I don't know.
The padded undies?
Yeah, get the implants.
Oh, that's what I need.
That's what you need.
That's what I'll start. Because I don't want to start with my face. I'll start there, see how it works out. But if it's bad, if they botch the job, nobody sees it.
Right.
You can't pull pants over your face, now can you?
Well,
all right, Dr. Joe and Jared Yamamoto. Jared Yamamoto, what stories do we have in health and lifestyle?
Now, Dr. Joe, while Eric is in the Christmas spirit, we're exactly 1 week away from Thanksgiving.
Well, it's holidays. I don't want to upset people. Sometimes
I'm offended.
Sometimes it is okay. It is okay to say we're in the holiday season because there's more than one holiday.
Yes. But one of the things that happens during Thanksgiving is everybody throws their diets out the window. And
Not me.
Well, you don't?
Not me.
What do you not eat?
Hey, let me tell you something. This is another thing I did, Dr. Joe. The calendar doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to eat anymore. We went through Halloween, and then I didn't have to. I had like 3 little mini Reese's butter those cups.
Right.
That's it. And in the past, I would have gone, well, it's Halloween, so I have to eat candy. Hey, people, I can tell you something. The calendar has nothing to do with what you eat today. So no, I'm not going to eat a bunch of stuff.
On this. I like this.
Whatever, commie.
Thank you. I know.
American.
Betraying my anti-Americanism.
Come on, you're going to be watching the Bills and Falcons eating that turkey and ham on Thanksgiving
How about this
Day?
for Thanksgiving? I'm sorry, Joe, this has nothing to do with you, but how about that? My 2 favorite teams, let me tell you what I hate. I hate when my teams play on Thanksgiving because I don't think a team that I've liked has ever won on Thanksgiving. It ruins your day. This year, the 2 teams that I root for in the NFL with the most passion, the Bills and the Falcons, both playing on Thanksgiving Day. So I'm bound to not be thankful by the end of the day because the Bills are playing Dallas, and the Falcons are on a roll. I can't remember who Falcons are playing.
We are playing the New Orleans Saints in our house, and we're going to take care of them.
Look out. Drew Brees is upset about that last time.
Eat them for dinner.
All right. Matt, you ready to go?
No, yeah.
There's rappers out there saying that we should get rid of you and hire Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, boring.
Yeah, Yeah.
Let's see him stay in a bucket.
All right. Let's not get... all right, give me a...
But one of the good things with having Dr. Joe here is that he can help us out with making Thanksgiving much better on your waistline.
Yeah. Do you really believe in that? You know what? Wouldn't you just tell people, take a day off, eat whatever you want, get back to it on Friday?
No.
I'm just wondering because I think that when you try to eat things, I think this is one of the problems with dieting, is people want to eat things and they don't want to have to change how they eat. They want... Right. So don't try to make a diet version of Thanksgiving. It's going to taste terrible anyway. Right. Why don't we just eat some turkey and some mashed potatoes?
Less. That's an option.
Yeah, yes. Portion control.
Got to ruin your appetite.
Ruin your appetite.
20 minutes to get the message from your stomach to your brain that there's food in there.
Really?
Yes. So Thanksgiving's the worst of all because you eat for 20 minutes and then you're stuffed.
Yeah.
So if you ruin your appetite, have a snack before you go to the meal, and then you're not going to eat as much.
So you're saying like a chocolate milkshake or something?
No, I think you're missing the point.
I may be.
Yes, a little off target here.
Possible.
Let me tell you this, by the way.
Is this anti-Dr. Joe?
This is anti-Dr. Joe, and I want to tell you now, Dr. Joe's going to tell you to eat tofu turkey because he's one of those crazy guys that thinks you're not supposed to eat meat. Well, look, we were given these front teeth, the canines, to tear flesh.
That's right.
And you got to cook it. Yeah. So make sure you have turkey, because if you have tofu turkey, it's going to wreck your vasovagal nerve.
That's true. It will. Hey, is the vasovagal thing what makes you faint?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah, smart you are, yes. Vasovagal.
I picked it up. Somewhere between all the Frozen 2 stories.
Yes. Important stories, yeah.
So what would you, healthy but delicious Thanksgiving?
So first, ruin your appetite. So have an avocado, have some nuts, have some guacamole or something about 20 minutes before the meal.
Yeah.
Then you can make logical decisions. Because when you're hungry, you can't make logical decisions. I'm going to eat everything at this table. Yeah. I'm going to shove it in my stomach.
I tell you something, Dr. Joe. I do not find, even when I was eating like crazy, that I ate more at Thanksgiving necessarily. But there's more food,
right?
But there's also more people, and maybe I'll have a little more dessert than normal or something. But I don't find I'm not sitting there like just I need more turkey. Yes. Give me more turkey. I basically eat like I'm eating at a restaurant or something, and maybe I get a little bit more. But it's not like
the whole thing about
yeah.
Okay, the whole thing about tryptophan and turkey.
That's not real.
That's
right?
not real. No,
baloney.
Most meat has the same amount of tryptophan. Yeah. It's the volume that you eat.
Yeah, and also you just need an excuse to get away from your in-laws.
That's true too. Yeah,
I gotta lay down.
Yeah. All that turkey,
nap time. Right. Just anything to get into another room.
Hey, smoking on Thanksgiving is wonderful because you got to go outside.
That's right.
And you're all alone. You don't hear the yapping. Maybe a little kid will ask you what you're doing, and you go, "Hey, don't do this." Happy Thanksgiving.
That's Timid dinner.
when I'm with the Western New York bunch, there's so many kids that I don't know. I mean, kids who have kids everywhere. So when I'm at my sister's house or something at Christmas, I just sit there and another toddler will just pop up next to me on the couch and just like, hey, man, what's up? I'm assuming I'm related to you somehow, so I'll be very nice.
Just stare at you.
Just kids everywhere. No, they're all wonderful. I don't know. I try to match. That thing where you try to match. Remember when you were like third grade? They have the pictures on one side and the words.
Whose kid is this?
That's how it is. That's like I'm just like, is that the child? I have no idea.
Right. You might need a kidney someday. You got to be nice to these kids.
That's exactly true. Right. I'm nice to everybody for that reason. I don't know that these organs are going to hold out.
You want one of Tim's? Tim's?
Oh, I don't want one of Tim's.
I got him pickled. The gallbladder, it's in a
gallbladder's
jar somewhere.
Lost his gallbladder. Left it at a truck stop.
That's what it was, yes.
What do you got? What else you got?
All right, this one comes from studyfinds.org.
Study finds?
Yes, study finds.
Oh, can you not say the D there?
D, finds.
Okay.
And
D finds.
Finds. Hate the taste of vegetables? Your genes may be to blame, study finds.
That's me, because I mentally want to like vegetables more. I want to have a wider palate, but I can't. I like peas and carrots and green beans and corn.
You're like a child.
Brussels sprouts. Broccoli, that's it.
Oh, you like broccoli?
Well, I don't say I like it. I can put up with it.
He likes it fried.
Yeah.
Deep fried. Coating.
No, I just eat it really fast knowing it's good for me.
Okay, well, that's good.
Just plow it down.
Yeah, but some people have genetics where they
That's me. Yeah. I think because there's no reason for me not to like things.
Because you're a super taster. It's called.
Oh wow!
Yes,
thank you.
Yes,
are you hitting on me?
Well, how do you call that in college? You're looking mighty fine, there, boy, with weight loss.
Hey, get HR on the phone.
I'm a super taster too.
So that means you could say hyper taster, like you're tasting more.
Right, and the bitters then come out.
Okay, it's bitter.
The bitter taste comes in. I don't like that because it's more bitter than some other people.
Are I agree with you off air. You're saying that you think you're a super smeller.
I'm a super smeller. Yeah. I smell things like, God, that stunk. And I don't smell it.
You don't smell it.
No.
The only thing I smell sometimes that other people don't smell is like I think it's like when you're having like an aneurysm or something.
You're having a stroke, is what it is.
Honey, are you burning oranges? What a strange time to start burning oranges.
Are you sensitive, Dr. Joe, to chemical smells? Because we buy those garbage bags that sometimes have scents on them.
Yeah, I don't like those.
I hate that because I don't like that chemical, and it bothers me.
Yeah, and those are phthalates that are endocrine disruptors. It actually acts like estrogen, so it can actually affect your testosterone.
That's why you get the male boobage.
That's right. There you go.
Jared.
That transition's going to cost a lot less than you thought.
Nobody tweaks your funny bone like these guys. Eric Von Haessler, weekday mornings at 9, and Mark Aram, weekday evenings at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
Come on. Jared, give me another health and/or lifestyle story for Dr. Joe.
This is a question from Healthline.com.
Yeah.
Should you be taking prescription strength fish oil, guys?
Prescription strength fish oil. First of all, should you be taking any kind of fish oil?
No.
What if you don't ever eat fish like me?
You should get omega-3 fatty acids, but fish don't produce omega-3s.
Oh.
Fish get it from eating smaller fish who eat algae.
Uh-huh.
The algae is the thing that produces the omega-3s.
So we should just go just cut out the middle fish.
Right. And cut out the middle fish. There you go.
Right to the algae.
Go right to the algae.
Yes. I have a Dr. Joe's algae supplement. It's omega-3.
Look at that.
There's my plug.
Hey.
Good plug. But that's the one I take because the fish, you run the risk of mercury contamination. It can go rancid pretty easily. Other heavy metals can be in there.
Fish.
Yeah, it goes rancid.
It's too much good. You know why? See, to me, I think of when you look at all the waterways of the world.
Yes.
There's a lot of things in there.
Yeah.
And much like us, they go to the bathroom all the time.
Yes.
So when I look out there, to me, that's like, I don't want to go getting my food out of there.
Fish toilet.
It's really, it's big old.
The algae is the purest form. It's sustainable.
No, you're right.
You're right.
It's the big toilet.
They don't get out. They don't leave the ocean and go on land. Hey guys, I'll be back in a second.
The bottom dwellers are the worst. The crustaceans, because they don't taste good.
What is that? Those are the ones that taste good. But
lobsters, clams, mussels, they filter out all that.
Bugs. How can you eat those things?
Oh, they're so
all right, Dr. Joe, that music tells me you got to tell people how to get in touch with you.
Right here on WSB Radio, 7 to 9 Sunday nights. We have our live show. You can call in with questions. And on my website, over 1,000 hours of video and audio podcast, drjoe.com.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Trying to figure out where I want to start here. You know, nobody talks about Hong Kong. Nobody talks about Hong Kong. What happened to Americans? I think I blame the neocons for this. Because I think Americans believe now that if they express support for anybody around the world, it means that we automatically have to send our sons, daughters, and treasure over there. You know what I mean? I think that the neocons put us all over as the policemen of the world so much, and I think we're in the midst of overcorrecting now, where the lesson we should learn is, hey, we don't want to send soldiers in to try to create democracy. It doesn't work.
Would you describe it as isolationist?
No, I don't think it's isolation. It's a little bit of isolation. I just think it's a matter of, it's like when I know a lot of women who had these horrible boyfriends, and then they just don't date for a year after a particularly bad one. You know, it's like they get back into it after a while. But what needs to be understood is America does need to be Reagan's shining city on a hill. What is a shining city on a hill? It's something that you can see. No matter how far down deep into the valley you are, you can see it. And just seeing it and knowing it's there inspires you to continue on because other people created this thing and you can continue. And so I just really think we've gotten to a point now where Americans just don't care about freedom around the world because I think they're afraid that if they do express that they do care, then they're going to be on the hook for sending their sons and daughters and money and everything. And I don't think that that's true. You can inspire, but you can say. I mean, then they passed in the House. They passed the Hong Kong Freedom Act or whatever, which just basically doesn't have any real weight to it. I don't think it's just basically the expression of an opinion that we care about the protesters in Hong Kong. Because again, what was it, 531 to 1?
There's one
House and
congressman,
Senate.
yeah.
Yeah, well, who's that guy?
I forget his name. He's from Tennessee.
Oh, let's see what his ideas are. Well, I'm for the Chinese government. It can't be that. It must be something else.
He said it was similar to another bill where taking away sovereignty or something. I don't know. Oh, it was tied to...
so you never know what else is in there.
Yeah, the Patriot Act was reauthorized.
Okay. So, within this?
I believe so, but I'll have to double check that. But
yeah, don't be afraid. You can express support. I mean, the NBA is so locked down with China as a market that no one is allowed to even tweet what they think. That's something.
Yep.
Like, they would never put up with any entity from this government telling you as an NBA owner what you can tweet and what you can't tweet. But if the president of China says don't tweet it, that's how much. I mean, wow. Yeah, it's all about, but it's a difficult thing for them because, as it is for everybody, China's a big market. But it needs to be understood, and I will tell you again, I don't think most people understand this. The kids in Hong Kong, the people, it's not just the kids, are not fighting for something they don't already have. This is not one of those situations where, they've never been free. They are fighting to maintain the freedom they've always had. They're losing their freedom. They're not fighting to gain something they've never had. Again, they're fighting to keep something they've always had. And there's nothing wrong with Americans being very loud and proud about the idea that we're on the side. Now, do I think they're doing everything right? No. And I wonder if some Chinese mainland types have gotten in there and agitated for this violence, because if you go violent as they have, shooting an arrow into a policeman's leg and things like that you're handing, the mainland Chinese are the protesters. At the least, they're rabble rousers. At worst, they're terrorists. They're anti. And when you all you do is you help them write their headlines. And so that was a mistake. That was a mistake. It's sad to say when you're up against a machine like that. But the Gandhi, Martin Luther King way is the only way that really works. You have to show the world how brutal the other side is. By the way, also, since I'm on this, for all my friends on the left, they've been these students have been holed up at Hong Kong University, I think it is, for days now. The police are on the outside. Polytechnic. And the police are on the outside, and the kids are in there. You want to know why the police haven't stormed the building? You want to know why you haven't seen a Tiananmen Square this has been going on for 6 months. The Chinese government has not come in and crushed it. Obviously, they could, right? If they decided they'd crush it. To my friends on the left, what I'd like you to know is the reason that's not happening: capitalism. Capitalism. There's too much to lose. Right now, there's too much Western business interest in Hong Kong and China to a certain degree. China, they would lead China too. I mean, the Tim Cooks of the world can dance all they want, but you bring in tanks and you start running over kids, Tim Cook is going to bug out. So the reason that Tiananmen was possible is you had just a little bit of that going on when that went down. Right now, this is supposedly a communist government, China. How did they survive? They were on their way out. Like Soviet Union went on the way out. The number of communist countries in this world today compared to, say, 1974, it's drastically lower. How did China save themselves? Capitalism. An infusion of capitalist influences from the West. Now, they've got us, like they've got the NBA a little bit, because their markets are so big. But we've also they've got things they don't want to lose. And Hong Kong is a big old money generator for the mainland. And so, to my friends on the left, if that was a socialist system, not government, system, if that was a communist system, not government, those kids would have been laid low by guns and tanks long ago because they wouldn't have had anything to lose. So just every once in a while on the left, you might want to think that capitalism, there's some good side to capitalism.
A little bit. There are a couple things that are good.
Hey, man, you're totally against all of it, man.
Yeah, I got a good deal on my house.
Hey, man, there's a guy with a hamburger stand. Yeah, let's do this.
More headlines for Thursday, November 21st.
Not that I didn't just already start them. Hey, I know we got to jump around here, but do you have, Eric Swalwell was in that impeachment proceeding.
Yeah.
And this guy, remember Eric Swalwell? He's the guy who farted on national television on the Chris Matthews show just a few nights ago.
On Hardball on MSNBC.
That denied it.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans...
First of all, he denied it. Now, I'm beginning to think that it's becoming his, now they say, you got to own things and they have to be your brand. So Swalwell he was asking whether, I can't remember which one of these people he was asking, but he was asking them whether it's possible that Zelensky over in Ukraine knew that the money was being held up. See, the thing here is Republicans are saying, hey, the money got there. Zelensky says he never knew that it was being held up. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, well, he knew kind of thing. So this is Swalwell while he's questioning this witness.
Do you believe you have some evidence that the Ukrainians first inquired about security assistance to someone in your office on July 25?
That's correct.
That might have been her at the end. In his defense,
I don't know. I've begun. I call it a Swalwell. I can identify this.
Do you believe you have some evidence that the Ukrainians first inquired about security assistance to someone in your office on July 25?
That's correct.
He's farting over her answer. I guess now it's his brand.
Yeah,
he must have some sort of consultant that said, hey, you know what? All the kids are talking about it.
Hi, I'm Eric Swalwell for Beano.
You ought to have some sort of program that will help people who have this gaseous...
The government needs to supply everyone in the country with Gas X starting tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just, own it and it's your brand. I'm the farting congressman.
Oh, hey,
right?
It was a coffee mug. Come on now.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
He's denying it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's why Fartgate still lives. What else happened?
Fartgate lives.
Epstein didn't kill himself. Fartgate lives.
Eric Swalwell did fart.
So, what else happened there? Did the guy say was there a quid pro quo or was there not a quid pro quo?
I want nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I want no quid pro quo.
Now, that was the president, and because Gordon Sondland said that at one point. But Sondland also said that he thought it was a quid pro quo. Everybody knew it. Supposedly, Rudy Giuliani was, or what was it, John Bolton. When this Gordon Sondland started talking to somebody in Ukraine about these investigations, Bolton was like, check, please. All right, this meeting's over. So, boy, I'll tell you, if they ever get Bolton.
Oh, they probably will. But he's loyal.
He's loyal, but
to the system.
He's going to tell. He's the one who said Giuliani was doing a drug deal.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, you got any meth over there? You guys need meth? Well, I'll give you some meth if that's what it takes.
To me, the story here is Giuliani.
That's right. Throw him in the bus.
The most beloved mayor. I mean, this guy owned America in post 9/11. Everybody loved Giuliani, and he's traipsing all over Ukraine. So, and I don't, the president. If you want this done, just direct your people, and if they won't do it, then get other people to do it. But the idea of having your own shadow diplomacy going on, I mean, sometimes the problem with a lot of this is we're all supposed to believe none of this has ever happened before. Well, I don't think that's true. And I said yesterday, I'm not privy to phone calls by other presidents to other foreign leaders in history. So I just have to take Adam Schiff's word for it. Oh, no, this never happens. I'm not so sure that's true. But in reality, because of Trump's personality, a lot of times it's like a blinding light and you can't see what's next to it. If you remove the personality, for years, people have said, we need a businessman to run this country. And some of the pushback on that was, well, just because you're good at business doesn't mean you would necessarily be good at running the country, because if it's your business and you own it, then people have to tell you what to do or you fire them. And if you end up being wrong, you lose your business. Who cares? It's on you. But when you run the country in the executive office, a businessman can do things like what Trump did, get rid of red tape, deregulation, those kind of things. But every once in a while, you also got to deal with this elected body that passes legislation. Sometimes in the executive office, you have to execute policy you don't necessarily like, and that's not something that businessmen are used to. I have a note here, and I have to figure this one out, maybe for the other half, after 11:30. The note says, apparently I have a theory. It's the Gronkowski, Sarah A. Carter, MSNBC, CNN connection. Yeah, it's coming up. I wrote it down.
Oh, you're going to make us wait?
Well, all I have to do is remember what the hell it was.
Okay.
But I know I wrote it down so I can find it. Don't worry, I'll remember. Gronkowski.
Don't worry, I'll remember, man.
Yeah, you got a mind like a track.
I got a mind like a thing you put spaghetti in.
Yeah, that's right. It's a colander.
What?
It's
you mean the thing you write the date on?
Exactly. Yes,
Okay.
yes, Mr. Gronkowski.
Thank you.
Hey, we my producer, this Jared Yamamoto, he wants me to promote something for him. You guys are, what do you have? You have a podcast, right?
Yeah, it's called the Power Pod.
Power up with the Power Pod!
That's it.
Sounds like a Saturday morning Kool-Aid commercial, but it sounds like a lot of fun, and you guys are filling in when?
We are going to get our first shot live on the air, 95.5 WSB, Black Friday from 6 to 8 p.m., filling in for Mark Aram.
Power up with the Power Pod!
All right, now I'm on the hook. I gotta explain this theory. So it was called the Gronkowski, Sarah A. Carter, and I added this one, Lou Dobbs, MSNBC, CNN connection. I'm laughing because Tim has got Rob Gronkowski's face on so that he can... Rob, you with me?
Yeah, man. So, you see my big announcement?
Well, this is what I'm talking about. So again, it's the Gronkowski, Sarah A. Carter, Lou Dobbs, MSNBC, CNN connection. Let's start with Gronkowski.
Okay.
Everybody's excited. Last week on Fox Sports on the pregame, you mentioned, hey, Dallas Cowboys need someone like me. I would be the one. And people thought, oh, my goodness. Maybe, Jerry Jones would pay him. Maybe he'd go to Dallas Cowboys. And New England Patriots want Gronkowski back because they don't have much of an offense this year. And you said that you were going to have a big announcement on...
I did.
Yeah. And everybody thought, he's going to announce that he's going back to football to the Patriots and the Cowboys. And big letdown. Undelivered promises. Right? What was your big announcement was you were having a New Year's Eve party.
Hey, I beg your pardon. I never promised you a Rose Garden. Yeah, big New Year's Eve bash, man.
Yeah. So it was
a lot of chicks.
Big letdown. Big letdown. So then, was it Eric Erickson yesterday on his show, or was it on Twitter? You were telling about that. He just showed all the times on CNN and MSNBC over the last 2 years where they've said, this is a bombshell, is this a smoking gun, and with the question of, you wonder why people don't,
His point was, to the media, why people's minds aren't changed on both sides.
On both sides, because this has just been that side,
right.
Has been going and going and going with that. In the morning, I watched this FBN AM, and then sometimes I see the very end of the repeat of Lou Dobbs. And, Lou Dobbs, every day, it's him or Sarah A. Carter or the weird couple that's a lawyer couple. I don't know, the big power couple, Tensing and the other guy. But before I go off of this, I see the very end of the show. And whether it's Sarah A. Carter or Lou Dobbs or one of these, they're always telling us all the people that are going to go to jail. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, major players will be going.
That IG report.
Of course. Oh, yeah. When that comes, it's always the next report. Yeah. TikTok. Here it comes. Any day now. And no one goes to jail. MSNBC, CNN. The smoking gun never actually appears. Gronkowski.
I'm not going to jail.
It's a New Year's Eve party.
Well, it's going to be a heck of a party, so I don't know, man.
Hey, you were here at WSB just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right, I was.
Yeah, you were taping over there in the network
I saw
studio.
you, and I'm like, I got to get away from him.
So all of it is that's my Gronkowski, Sarah A. Carter, Lou Dobbs, MSNBC, CNN connection. What's the connection? Unfulfilled promises. Constantly. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. And on the Von Haessler Doctrine, we tell you what's going to happen. We don't tell you what we think you want to hear. We don't tell you, in Eric's wish fulfillment, what will happen. We tell you what's going to happen. Nobody's going to jail. The people who go to jail will be people that you've never heard of, underlings, or people that you've only heard of because you've paid attention to this. None of the big players. To my friends on the left, I don't care what you got on him after he gets out of office, whether it's now or later. Trump ain't going to jail. To my friends on the right, I don't care what you think, do, say, or think, or anything. Hillary is not going to jail. Strzok is not going to jail. Comey is not going to jail. If anybody goes to jail, much like in Watergate, it'll be underlings and people you've only heard of because this boiled up to the surface.
I'm not going to jail, am I?
Rudy, I know.
I sure hope not. There's a lot of people in New York I put in jail.
I don't have all the facts. But I would say probably not.
Hey, I ended the mob.
You did a lot of good things, Giuliani.
That's right.
I don't know what's happened here in your last act.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either, because I want to be relevant.
I know, well, apparently. Just running all over Ukraine, doing whatever the hell you want.
Trying to find that server, CrowdStrike. I don't even know what it is.
And then there's another one. I brought this up yesterday. This is why I don't care, because I don't believe anybody on any side. Can you believe that? No, surely, Eric, that's just a cop-out. No, I'm telling you, as a man who's 55 years of age in this country, who loves this country, I don't believe anybody on any side. They're all trying to sell me their own version of their used car. That's what I'm seeing. And again, this is not a show where the host tries to convince you of anything. There is no mission on this show. I have no interest whatsoever in anybody listening to what I say, walking away going, I agree with him. It's not a matter of I don't care. That's negative. I have no interest in that. This is a great, entertaining show, and the host tells you how he sees the world. But I'm never lying to you. I'm never selling you something that there's never an ulterior motive. If I'm wrong, it's just because I'm wrong. But this is the way that I see it. I don't believe anybody on any side because they're all acting like they're doing what they're doing for some sort of greater good. And they're all acting for the purposes of the next election, whenever that next election is. And that's just the way that it is. I don't even hold them at fault for that, but I'm not going to be a goon on the left or the right and jump in line and go, yeah, I'm with that guy. Well, they're all morons. It's Adam Schiff.
Yeah.
Oh, is he going to act like every time something happens? There was an audible gasp. This is the Adam Schiff yesterday after Sondland said the thing about, was there a quid pro quo? Yes, there was. He calls a break. Like he's got a full bladder or something. And then goes and gives a press conference about how this is truly a blah, 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 blah. Because if I stay in there and do my work, I might not get this on the 5 to 7 p.m. news shows. And that's the driver. That's the driver. And I'm not even angry like a college student finding this out. I know this is true. I get angry that so many people listening have bought into either side. I don't even get angry about that. Leave me with the First Amendment, and I really don't care. Second, too, I don't know, people get upset. Leave me with the Bill of Rights.
All 10.
Yeah, leave me with the Bill of Rights.
Well, make it 14.
Make them all, because I think we rescinded slavery.
I don't like that last one. I don't like the last one where you can get rid of the president if you think he's nuts.
Let's just say, whatever you people who have convinced yourself you're working for the greater good, but you're not. You're working to get that side power. Whatever it is, whatever damage it is you do to this country along the way, just leave me with the Bill of Rights. As long as you leave me with the Bill of Rights, I'm going to be able to do okay. My taxes will go up, my this or that. Because I don't see anybody on any side who's waking up every day about America first. And I don't mean that in the Trumpian way. What I mean is my loyalty is to no human being. Can you imagine that? It's to a piece of parchment.
It sounds like you would be a member of the Constitution Party if I put everything. If I put all
bozos.
Obama needs to go back to where he came from.
I'm a libertarian. That was a joke, by the way. You have to explain. People tune in. They think, what's going on?
I'm making fun of the Constitution Party.
My friend Tim is in a little bit of a shock jockey mood today. It's okay. It's in a snarky mood.
Hey, listen, I've kept a lot of it in here.
Yeah. You better keep it in there.
Yeah, of course.
You want to keep coming in here.
Oh, yeah. See, I know where my bread is buttered.
You got some stories for me or whatnot?
I do. This is a huge story we haven't gotten to yet.
Oh, well.
That's Ariana Grande.
Is that her singing?
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, they say music today sucks. I don't see it. Why, with this kind of stuff here? This reminds me of, well, you remember when Led Zeppelin put out their first album?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You could tell a little bit of old, a little bit of new.
Yep.
And, but one thing you knew, it was deep.
Yes.
This is deep.
She was at State Farm on Tuesday.
State Farm?
State Farm Arena.
Oh, I thought you meant that goat place down Midtown.
The goat farm?
No. She was at the State Farm Arena.
She was at State Farm Arena on Tuesday, so a lot of Atlanta ties
Was she
here.
watching the Hawks, or was she doing a show?
She did her own show.
Okay.
And she also made news yesterday because she is going to break free from capitalism, and she decided to endorse Bernie Sanders.
Well, also, you buried the lead there. She thanked Bernie for being at that show at State Farm. You got here early, and you went to the State Farm Arena.
Oh, it was wonderful. I got to say one thing, though. I'm not a fan of the corporate sponsor of the venue.
I got it.
Because when you elect me president, and let's face it, that's going to happen, it's going to be called Government Insurance Arena. It's the only way. It's the only way for everybody.
Government Insurance Arena.
Now, it's not my kind of music.
Yeah.
But she's a lovely, very talented, very, very, very pretty.
She's young.
Very young and pretty.
And you want the
smells
votes.
great.
You want the votes.
Looks great.
Most of us don't get that close. We don't
I'm not
smell her.
thinking about anything but her.
I think what you're thinking about is that she's going to get you votes.
I hope so, but I'm a Pete Seeger guy.
Yeah.
Phil Oakes.
You're a big Phil Oakes fan.
I asked her to sing a Phil Oakes song. She said, "Who's that?"
Okay. You're more into Pete Seeger and Phil Oakes.
Yes.
She put out a very sweet tweet for you there, Bernie.
Did she?
She said, "My guy," in all caps.
Oh.
Thank you, Senator Sanders, for coming to my show, making my whole night, and for all that you stand for. Headcount.org and I are doing our best to make you proud. We've already registered 20,000 plus young voters for my show's long.
Don't tell them how old I am.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. They're stupid enough to be at her show, so they're you could probably get their
Hey,
vote.
I went to that show. You calling me stupid? You want to meet me out behind the old convenience store?
You want to fight out?
I'll bring my buddy Joe. He's Joe. Boy, he's crazy.
Yeah, Joe,
did you see Joe last night?
Joe could not put it together last night.
Made me look young.
Yeah, I know. You just had a heart attack.
I know. I had a heart attack. I'm up here making sense. He's talking about popcorn.
And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
I wouldn't do that.
Again, Jared sort of buries the lead. We don't know what he was talking about there.
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs.
And then he went on to say the way that you can battle that is
punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
Beat the hell out of abuse.
That's not how you do it. You call the police.
Call the police?
And then you put it on TV so everybody can watch and laugh. Have you ever seen Cops?
I have seen Cops.
That's what I'll be doing.
So, Ariana Grande, did I tell you that one time I tried to, there's a documentary on Netflix or something, and she was wearing like a cat outfit or something on the thing?
Yeah.
It's okay, it's a documentary.
It's one of her albums.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I think you've been listening.
I'm a well-adjusted 55-year-old man, so I don't know.
She's got the little cat ears in there.
Yeah, it's like almost like a Catwoman outfit.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, it's a documentary. Okay, well, I'll check this out. I couldn't make it through 10 minutes.
Long?
This person, everything is serving her. Every person around is serving her. Everything is serving her. And I would love, don't get angry, Eric. There will be no follow-up. Ariana Grande says, I'm giving up capitalism, going socialism. Let's put a camera on that. When was this, 2 days ago? Where is she right now? Is she staying at a Motel 6? Or is she staying at a high-end hotel made possible by capitalism. Is she getting ideas for her? Let's say she's got sketching ideas for a new album. Is she speaking that into? I don't know. Is she just writing everything down, or does she have a smartphone that, without capitalism, never would have been invented? When she goes on the road. Like, does she just take an acoustic guitar and just go out there? Or no, she has 7 to 10 18-wheelers.
Does she charge people to see her?
Yeah, charge to see her. Probably 2 sets of 8 to 10 18-wheelers because you want to hop stages, and it takes a day and a half to put up a stage. So while you're tearing down this stage, the other stage with the other 10 18-wheelers is already gone. At what point am I supposed to believe that she has turned her back on capitalism? But, there's every reporter at CNN is looking diligently. Can I find that next bully story? Hey, maybe I can find a story about a person who's been aggrieved in this country that we haven't heard from yet. No curiosity that says Ariana Grande is claiming that she's a socialist. All right, that's worth one reporter and a camera. Guess what? You're on the pop culture beat. I want you to go out and follow her around and bring back one slice of evidence that she is a socialist.
She'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina tomorrow night at PNC Arena.
But she's only going to arrive after the 8 to 10 18-wheelers that get her stage around. It's okay. I'm sure she's got plenty of carbon offsets. Cute little thing, though. All right, we are done for the day on the radio side. Not completely done. We go over into the podcast 30. If you want to join us over there, well, too bad. You can't. No, you can't. You just go to WSB Radio Facebook page or the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page. Click on the red box, and you can watch us do the podcast 30. We'll be back tomorrow with another big show. You're all invited to join us. But until... Oh, no, we won't. Will we Mark Aram tomorrow?
I believe so.
Yeah, we are doing our Christmas special for the next 48 hours.
Yeah.
So leave me alone.
Watch it on Facebook Live tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
We will. Wow. I got to say happy Thanksgiving and all that to people. Hey, all right. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. It's time for the podcast 30. Can I get an edge in word-wise? Time for the podcast 30. Turn that crap down.
Here it comes. Porter Robinson.
You know it's Thursday in the house with EBH and Jared and Tim. Yeah, we're doing a podcast. We're getting ready for a Christmas special extravaganza show.
Live your best life with Zeljan.
Actually, what Eric was doing is exactly how the music video is too. It's a young girl who's floating around, and this I guess this creature
she'll be dead within 2 years. I'm crashing to the ground.
I know a few of those. Young girls are just floating around in life.
Good drugs.
Yeah, they don't last long.
Porter Robinson is a fun show. I think all of us could go. We'd have a good time.
I'm not gonna do it like my stupid mom did with stability.
Well, there's this strange, I guess, ghost figure that catches her at the end.
Ooh.
And
that's Migos.
Maybe so.
About the only rapper I know.
Either way, good music. The name of the song is called Language. Good music video.
It's language.
Yeah.
There's no words.
It should never be spoken of.
Well, I was driving back to the airport on Monday morning from Dorset to London. I had the BBC Radio 6 on. I like it because it's they have a lot of new music.
Yeah,
on
Channel 6. What do they do on Channel 6?
BBC Radio 6 music, Eric.
Yeah.
And
is each channel a different kind of genre? Like is one rock and roll and one.
Yeah, but the 6 is just new. Pretty much left field music, but they had this Latino female rapper called Rosalia.
Yeah.
And it blew me away.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the video.
Yeah.
And the song it's all in Spanish. All the lyrics.
The ketchup song.
Yeah, exactly, but not. So the song is apel, like if you were going to say it in English, apel, but it's apel. And
like uphill.
In the video, she's got a pail of gold grill on her teeth. And then she's got this massive unibrow, and I'm like, oh man,
everything.
But here's the deal: when you see her in real life, it's just for that video.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
It's
she's playing
CGI for that video, I think.
Yeah.
But her music is awesome.
They try
Rosalia, check it out, Jerry.
Every once in a while, they try to make the unibrow cool. It's impossible. I mean, I know that Bill Berry had it in the REM, and that was quaint.
That's actually what the song album Monster was about.
Yes. They can't look at this guy anymore. So, and then there's Anthony Davis, the Laker.
Yeah.
And he's
What about Frida?
kind of turned into his free. Somebody saw a movie.
Yeah.
There's no way that you know about that.
I took art classes in college.
Yeah. Did you saw the movie? What'd they do? They tell you to watch that movie?
We didn't watch a movie about it. We just learned about it.
She's a big communist.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Most
That's
artists
why
are.
you learn about her.
Yeah.
Most artists are.
Yeah, I'll tell you an artist that wasn't.
Dylan.
J. Paul Getty. He was a capitalist artist. We have to thank English Thing. I got 2 pieces. First of all, everybody's done such great work for this Christmas show.
You're welcome.
So today I got 2 great pieces. I got Driving and Crying's Run, Rudolph Run.
Oh, cool.
Which is awesome, which they went into a studio, did it right.
I can't wait to
whole
hear
thing.
it.
And then I got yours. Now, that's great, but everybody knows Run, Rudolph, Run, right? So it's like, it's great. That's a great version. Everybody doesn't know Thismas is my kind of Christmas.
Unless you tuned in last year to the special.
The song lyrics by Eric Von Haessler, music by Chris Chandler.
Yeah.
Your anchor man. And I sang it to open last year's show.
Very vaudeville-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one permutated? Does everybody say it?
Permeates?
No, permeates is like that. This permutated,
Yes.
I think. If I have that word right.
Well, it's mutated now.
It started out as kind of, it was going to be a punk version of it.
Yeah.
And then we decided, well, let's also add some Trans-Siberian Orchestra kind of stuff.
Tis the season.
And I think you guys should call yourselves the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
We were going to call it, because what we were going to call it? We were going to call it like my last name. Our last name. So it would be the Parsons Drake Orchestra. PDO.
Okay.
The PDO.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So it's unbelievable. It's really,
it's good.
People will want, this is a song that nobody's ever heard.
Yeah.
Really, unless you listened to me sing it badly last year. But you guys did an amazing job.
I mean, I got Randy.
Just amazing.
Randy is he's been a friend
Say
of
his
mine.
last name.
Randy Drake.
Okay.
Randy Drake. Been a friend of mine for a long time.
Yeah.
He played at Meddlesome for a while. Then he got the gig with Fozzy, which is Chris Jericho's band. So he tours with them, plays bass, and he's got a little home studio setup, Pro Tools and what have you. I probably spent 30 minutes yesterday afternoon dropping down the vocals.
Really, right.
Went out, ran an errand, came back in an hour, and he just put this thing together. He had the music together, but it took him 24 hours.
Wow.
This kid is talented,
It's
man.
brilliant. It's great. People are going to absolutely love it. You know, we're getting to the point now where we're going to have to put out a Christmas album next year.
I think honestly we could put one out this year, but next year we'll have about 15 tracks if we continue.
The thing is with albums is once one person buys one, they put it online and then everybody has it.
Yeah, but you own that song. You wrote it. You could throw it up there, charge $1 for it.
Oh, no, I have to publish it?
Well,
but I'd have to
should publish it.
I probably should before all this. Somebody's going to steal it.
Right. Right.
Now
we'll put it on the Bitboard.
It's the Bit Machine.
No, sorry.
He said when you're out of the studio, Tim said you need to do something. Don't put it on the Bit Machine. Nobody can do anything on the Bit Machine.
The Bitboard.
You got to get it out there on the.
Oh, let me open my smartphone and go to a web browser. Oh, I have to click 17 times before I can't share it. Oh, wow! Welcome to 2006.
You can't access it via the WSB
It looks
radio.
horrible.
Do you have to subscribe to said Bitboard?
No, you don't have to do that.
Yes, the Bit Machine.
Yeah, Bit Machine.
Welcome, my friends, to the Bit Machine.
So no, that's great.
You're welcome. I get goosebumps. The ending of it gives me goosebumps.
The ending is amazing.
It's
amazing.
Like, should we make music for Disney movies? Because that's how it feels.
Yeah. Well, don't forget who wrote it.
No, I don't forget who wrote it. Thank you for that. But there was a little bit of arrangement we did that was a little bit different.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
But I think
Chandler's going to be pissed.
I think we cover all facets of my voice in this song.
Yeah, no, it sounds great.
Because there's clean, there's screaming, there's punk, there's metal, there's everything. It's.
I forgot about the part at the end where I ran out of breath.
Yeah.
When I was singing it last year, it was late.
Yeah.
And you guys just like, it was really good. It wasn't bad.
I'm excited for people to hear it.
I'm glad a tour wasn't going by with it.
Yeah. Hey.
You're playing rock, paper, scissors.
That's a
quick one.
I saw a thing. Did I talk about this with you guys? I saw something that said the rock, paper, scissors championship.
Oh, that was the Dream Hack tournament.
That's right, yeah.
It said in the description that the people were playing anything from video games to rock, paper, scissors.
How do you become good at rock, paper, scissors?
Practice.
There's no way you could be good at it.
What do you got? I can read minds. Oh, okay. Well, that would make you better at it.
You're good.
You know what the other guy's going to do.
It does make sense.
You got 3 options, right? I mean,
Everybody could throw a basketball in a hoop.
Not everybody.
But you have to. But this is that's a skill. This is just luck that you pick the thing that's the other person. You'd have to know. You'd have to be able to read a mind.
Here's what you have to do.
Know what they were going to do.
I'm practicing my coin flips.
You have to get to the point where. You have to get to the point with rock, paper, scissors where you have the ability to be half a second slower than the other person, but make it seem like you throw down at the same time. Then you see what they do.
That's true.
That's it.
That's
you
the
have
key.
to have. Now, it may be that you have such vision, right? Or a sense of smell. You can smell their next move.
Yeah.
I can smell what the Rock is going to play.
That's why I always thought Steffi Graf had an unfair advantage in tennis.
Why?
She had that big nose.
Oh.
She could sniff out the next move.
It's going to be the backhand.
Overhead volley.
Just not fair. As far as I'm concerned.
Backspin.
But then again, what do I care about tennis?
Hey, she ended up with Andre Agassi.
Yeah, you ever
She's still with him?
I think they are still
Yeah,
together.
they got married.
How about when Monica Seles got stabbed? She was thinking, I'm in a tennis match. How could this ever happen to somebody?
How did that go down?
There was somebody who liked her opponent or somebody else that she was vying for number 1 with or something. And I remember him being like a German guy or something.
It was Croatian, wasn't he? And she's Serbian, and it was during the war.
Oh, was it that? I
think
thought
so.
it was that he liked I thought it was something stupid like I didn't want her to be number 1. I wanted the other person. But she backed up. I mean, this guy, I don't know, was it impulse? Like, did he know that she backs up that close to the crowd? Because she had to back right up to the railing where he was. And then it wasn't, I don't remember her being, bleeding all over the place. So it was kind of a small cut. But I just remember seeing that. She's going, ow!
Yeah, because she's not expecting it.
Well, who would?
Who's expecting it?
Who would?
I'm walking through Stab Village.
New balls, please.
Yeah, you see those little kids running across.
Yeah.
Picking up the knife.
She was the screamer, the one that always.
She was they all do now. They all do now. My mother-in-law is a big tennis person. Whenever she comes to town, I just make sure I find the tennis channel. I just leave it on the whole time because she'll watch any tennis, anytime, anywhere. And
I'm ready for.
So I see more. When she's in town, I see tennis. It's everybody's the guys now. It's
Yeah, they do that. Ugh.
What in the world?
You don't have to do that.
Well, I can see where it would help it is more, you're using the muscles in your stomach, which is giving you more torque, I would
it's kind of like when you're lifting weights and you breathe out.
What do you know about lifting weights?
And in that moment, it's the same thing. When you grunt and you're letting out.
Wouldn't you love to see this guy working out?
Yes.
With his dolphin pants.
Hey, man. Can you spot me?
Do you do the...
What do you bench, Jared? What do you bench, buddy? What do you bench?
Oh, man, I haven't benched in a while. I have a hernia now, so I can't do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
How'd you get a hernia?
But I think it's back from the ramp. It's not very big.
I told you, man, you were getting it on too much.
Probably.
You're into it too much.
Yeah,
man.
I guess so. You gotta
There's a downside to everything.
You gotta cool things down a little bit.
They always talk about the downsides. I was thinking about this. We had Dr. Joe. I showed him a pill that I take, and he said, oh, well, you don't get any boogers anymore. And I thought, I hadn't thought about that. It was not prescribed to me because I had problems with boogers. But it's true. I've been taking it now for about 4 months. And when Dr. Joe said that, I thought, well, that is true. I don't. And I hadn't even think because I'm a clean person. I'm a hygienic person.
Pretty much.
I've always been, look in the car mirror before you get out. You know who you're going to see, or whatever. And it's always and it's been a while since anything's been hanging there. And I didn't put the two together. And I thought in those commercials they never give you the good side benefits. It's always anal leakage and death and all this kind of stuff. But wouldn't it be great to say that one of the side effects is no more boogers?
What are you going to do with a red light?
Well, that's true.
What are you going to eat when you're hungry?
No, okay. It makes you better.
Yeah. If I suddenly ran out of food and I was homeless, this would be awful. My supply is gone.
Hey, man, you guys spare a booger?
You're bugger because you got no boogers.
Can anybody spare a booger? Hey, brother, can you spare a booger?
Brother, can you spare a booger?
What if you did that to a homeless guy? Like, I got no money, no food, but here.
Hey. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
You mean you won't give me $10 for a booger?
Yes.
Here you go.
I gave some alcohol to a homeless guy on the street in London on what was it, Saturday night?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr.
There was
Did you? For some reason, this just seems so Dickensian to me. Like you would
Here's
be in a
what
top
happens.
hat, it'd be like 1840.
No, he was.
Alms for the poor.
Spare a copper.
He was. I would imagine he was of West Indian descent.
Yeah.
And he was.
Well, why is it that? It's nice in West Indies.
He was effed up, man. He was effed up. Hey, man, you got something? I'm homeless, man.
I'm homeless.
You had to say he was homeless. They all did that. So there's a couple restaurants. It's a chain. It's called.
Is it bad in London?
No.
Were you in London?
No, there is a lot of homelessness in London. Yeah. And some of them, when they're begging for money, it's almost like they're doing the old prayer thing where they're on their knees.
Yeah.
They don't look at anybody. They got a hood over their head. They just hold the cup out in front of them.
For the pool.
Hold the cup. Don't say a word. It's like he's there. This guy was there on the South Bank 3 days in a row, not moving.
It's like one of those guys that you got to answer 3 riddles before you cross the bridge.
But the guy I gave the alcohol to, there's a place called Dishoom. It's an Indian restaurant. They have 2 of them. These Indian restaurants are so popular. We waited an hour in line to get in.
Wouldn't that just
it's amazing?
What?
Amazing. But they bring you.
I think Gandhi would cry.
They bring you sherry. They bring you sherry and chai tea in line.
Really?
So this guy's bothering us. They just give me this.
What?
Sherry.
You're outside in line. They bring you.
Yeah.
And they know. Well, boy, how strange! The homeless have
I know.
figured this out.
But
I'll go hang out in that line where they bring out food.
They just keep walking up and down. So I said, "Here, have this drink," and he loved it.
Yeah.
And then he came back, and like 20 minutes later.
Oh, he forgot that it was.
He
Hey,
forgot
you
it
got
was me.
anything?
And he goes, "Oh man, you're the guy that gave me that sherry, man."
So you're like
It's always
famous.
the worst.
He's got posters of you.
I didn't hate it. He wasn't aggressive.
He's
a gullible one.
It is bad though when you do give a homeless person something and then they come up to you and you see them again. Like let's say you're in the same pattern, they're hanging out at the same gas station, and you're like, hey, like, and they'll be like, hey, you got something? Like, can you get me food or can you give me some money? And you're like, dude, I bought you chips yesterday.
Hey,
like,
dude, I gave you $30 for sex just like 4 days ago.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you do? What'd you do with
I
that
remember
money?
it. Did you
You
not
don't
remember it?
this?
Yeah.
No, you're hurting my feelings.
Wow. This is the most memorable night of my life.
My goodness gracious. I mean, I don't usually even do it outdoors.
had
And you forgot about this?
I had a guy. I was stopped in traffic, and it's one of those uncomfortable things where it's there aren't a lot of cars there, and you see the guy walking, and you know that if there's a red light, he's going to bother you. And I had my window down. He goes, I heard, "Excuse me, sir," and I went, "I'm good." I felt like a jerk, but
I just don't. First of all, my windows are never down. And
Not even this lovely 68-degree weather around.
I don't want people talking to me and starting conversations and getting in my business. So I just act like I'm looking at something else. I do not make eye contact because I just we have the lowest unemployment rate in the history of history right now, and so if you can't find a job, there's something that you need to change in your life. What?
U3 unemployment rate. Lowest U3.
What's U3 mean?
Remember?
No. U3 would be higher than the unemployment rate because they used to always say that was the one
U3
that was
is
the
we
real
have.
unemployment rate.
U6 is the real unemployment.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's the one that they
the
changed.
Republicans stopped talking about that as soon as the president changed.
I know. They never bring it up.
What a surprise. What a surprise.
So
it's only important during the Obama administration.
Right. When it changed.
Yeah. How did it change?
I can't remember exactly. I think that the Obama administration changed it, and conservatives would always bring up, the U6 is this. The U6
because Obama would say that even when it was high, when it was like 6.5 or something, the real unemployment rate is the U6, 79%.
Yes.
What? Does anybody have a job?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It would be like 15% as opposed to. What it means is in the unemployment rate, if I understand this, you only count the people who are looking for a job.
All right.
So if you tap out, and if you're
not claiming benefits too.
After the 2008 thing, some people just tapped out, meaning that they just weren't even looking for jobs, but they were still getting assistance in some way. And so if you use one number, you can make it seem lower if you just use the number of people who are looking for a job. But the totality of people who could work if the circumstances were right and there was a job is much larger. Because the unemployment, there's more than I think the U3, is that the one that would be the normal one? Would be the one based on unemployment benefits alone. But the people who tap out, they may not be getting unemployment, but there's a whole host of other federal and state and local welfare programs that they can be a part of. So
and they could be working part-time somewhere, too.
Oh, they probably are.
So the U3 is 3.6 currently. The U6 is 7.
Yeah, but the Republicans don't care about that number anymore.
Not anymore. No.
It doesn't matter. Changed presidents. It doesn't matter.
Trump doesn't care about that
Isn't
stuff.
it funny? It's funny. It's just ridiculous. And more I realize just how ridiculous. I mean, I guess I always knew, but maybe you try to be idealistic and you think the next politician to come along is maybe going to be different. They never are.
I lost that. I used to have that. I don't have it anymore.
I think it was smarter, though. I mean, there's no knight on, what is it, Shining?
Knight in Shining Armor. I felt that way about Obama first term.
I was going to say, there's no knight on a shining horse.
No.
Yes, Eric, you're right. There is none.
That's
not a thing.
Horsey.
Actually, the horse would probably do a better job going forward.
When I woke up the day after President Obama won the election, I went out because I went to bed. I couldn't stay up that late.
Yeah.
Whatever, because we had to be on the air.
You voted for him.
I did, of course. And I came out and
Of course.
Well, I mean, back then I was a liberal, like dyed in the wool.
Make me feel bad.
I don't. You know what I mean by that. I'm not shaming you, but I teared up. I got emotional because I thought not only did the guy that I wanted to win, but he's the first African. I felt like the country had achieved something.
Yeah,
and it had, whether you like him or not.
Sure,
we had.
absolutely.
Well, there was hope and change.
But I really bought into that.
You're forgetting about the third thing.
What?
You get to go to work and. Your boss is going to be in a terrible mood because the last thing in the world he wanted was for Obama.
Oh, I knew that, but I did though, and then slowly over the course of those 8 years, the idealism evaporated.
That drained for me. I voted for Mondale, and he got killed, and then I voted for Dukakis because I was a big liberal in the '80s and
he's the first
early
person
90s.
I voted for,
and then not as bad as Mondale. Dukakis won 10 states.
Yeah.
So then I voted for Clinton. That was the last Democrat I ever voted for, and he won. So it felt great to win. But it was over seeing that thing, and I was getting older. That's when I started to switch, and that's when I started to say these guys, they're just politicians. That's all. They should just be seen as politicians. Society, the whole JFK thing. You know, my mom thought that JFK, walked on water.
Yeah, put his picture next to the Pope.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he was banging everything in sight. He and his brother. And
it's a tough job being president.
Half of the
that's a dirty job.
Half the Rat Pack were terrorizing Marilyn Monroe to suicide. But he is a saint. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Man, that last Marilyn Monroe HBO documentary is so sad. She was just,
they're all sad.
She lost her mind.
There's no such thing as a Marilyn. I mean, the thing,
lost her mind.
You always see that thing where she's happy birthday, Mr. President. There are so many levels to that.
She's so high, number one.
Number one, yeah, she rolled out of a rehab bed
to do that,
to fly to go do that because she was having an affair with the president. The president is sitting next to the first lady. He's not there alone. All right. So look at that look at that whole psychological picture that's going on from, when will #MeToo catch up with JFK? All right. So this guy is president of the United States. This is back when he had his whole head together and he was still president. He's president of the United States. And he, in front of the whole nation, his mistress, who's really famous and hot, is singing in a sexy voice, happy birthday to him, while the first lady, the president's wife, is right there to be humiliated, maybe not by the whole nation, because most of the nation doesn't know, but an awful lot of insiders in D.C. know, and an awful lot of political people know, and everybody in newsrooms know, and that's what's playing out. And JFK has not been caught up in this Me Too thing.
That's why she had to go.
Yeah. She was getting sloppy.
And so my brother Bobby, I can't even.
You ever seen one of my favorite movies? Why am I? I'm losing my headphones here.
Uh-oh.
One of my favorite movies is called, what is it called? No,
Citizen Kane.
No, I know that. I'm trying to think of this. This was the last movie that Marilyn Monroe made. It was the last movie that Clark Gable made. And the tortured guy that got in the car wreck with the barbiturates and everything.
The guy that they're going to be starring in a movie soon? James Dean?
No, not James Dean. No. The other guy, the guy that, damn it.
Tortured guy?
The Misfits. Great movie.
The Misfits.
The Misfits. You got to see this movie. Marilyn Monroe is amazing in it. Clark Gable's in it. I'm pretty sure this is the last movie, maybe for all three of those guys. His name, R.E.M. wrote a song about him. Montgomery Clift. Or Cliff, whatever. Is it Cliff?
Misfits.
Montgomery Clift.
Isn't it?
He's a great actor. very tortured individual. But
Tim's looking for it. He gets the band.
A lot of things you see Marilyn Monroe in, she's kind of like that, just that whole thing. Misfits is just so real, so
Really?
great, so great, so great. Great movie.
I like the movie she did with...
It's no Jojo Rabbit, don't get me wrong.
She did with Tony Randall when they're all like, she's really sexy and they're all falling for her.
Is that like the 7-Year Itch or something?
Might be that. It was.
I don't know if she's in that.
Jimmy Stewart in that?
Was he in a Marilyn Monroe movie?
I gotta.
Hey, you weren't here, English Nick. You mind doing? What are you?
I was looking at the movie.
You doing your mail?
No, I was looking at the movie. 1961.
Great movie.
Yeah.
You were not here, so I've got to tell you.
Earlier today?
We had a listener who heard me and agreed with me. This movie, Jojo Rabbit, one of the best movies ever
What's
made.
Jojo Rabbit?
It's the movie where the 10-year-old kid's invisible friend is Hitler. I'm telling you, Nick.
Is it new?
It's new. It is.
I'm making note of it.
It is. One of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Jojo Rabbit.
You will be reduced.
I like those kind of movies.
Well, you will be reduced. I'm telling you, the laughter is all the way. The tears are all the way. Everything is done perfectly. You will have to sit there for 20 minutes to get your eyes.
American movie?
No. Yeah.
The guy from
the guy who did Ragnarok.
Yeah, he did What We Do in the Shadows. You know who he is.
Yeah.
The
He's got that weird
New
name.
Zealand guy.
Tata.
Wakiki.
Yeah, something like that. He plays Hitler.
All right.
Not the former coach of Atlanta United, Tata Martino?
No, it is not him.
Oh, okay.
No. His invisible friend is Maradona.
Oh, okay.
I will check it out this weekend.
Really should. Unbelievable.
I'll
You know
take
what I
some
feel?
time.
This movie is so good that I feel bad that I can never see it for the first time again. No, you know what I mean?
I love those
Like
movies.
I'll never
That's
have.
like I keep talking about this movie every time we talk about movies. Beginners.
Yeah, this is
Beginners.
like that.
I love it every time I
This
see
is-
it, but
this-
the first time I saw it.
This movie it's funnier than that movie. That movie doesn't have a whole lot of. It has.
I mean,
really,
there's comedy,
There's real
but it's
good
dark.
awkward.
Yeah.
This is Hitler's his friend. This is dark. This is the last days of the war. But like that movie, the human condition stuff. I mean, you're looking at, like there's mixed reviews. It's got to be because people can't handle that Germans at that time in this movie. A few of them may have been humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like there were 10-year-old kids. Greg Russ's grandfather was put in a tank when he was 16 years old in the last year of the war. They were just dragging kids off the streets, just putting on things. I met his grandfather. It's not a Nazi. It's not anything. He was a kid. So I think there's that idea now that, why bother telling these stories? But that doesn't even matter. What matters is just it's a perfect movie, film. Everything about it.
Alan French from the blog We Bought a Blog says JoJo rarely gets more than a chuckle out of its audience.
Oh my God.
Making it surprisingly dull.
What?
All the energy and jokes that Watiti, did I say that right? Layers throughout his other films are non-existent.
That is not true.
I don't
first
even
of all,
read critic stuff
I
anymore.
don't either.
Yeah,
I will just tell you this. I don't know his other films. This is the first film of his I know. If the others are better, maybe they're better. I don't know.
I haven't seen
But
the
this
ones
one
you
is
were talking
perfect.
about. I know them.
This one is just stunningly great.
I'm
It's
ready.
One of the best movies I've ever seen. And the kid, I don't want to say anything. I wanted it to be like it was for me.
Stop
All
spoiling.
I knew walking in was a kid has an invisible friend that's Hitler. That's all I knew going in.
I'm
And
going to go watch some Falcons football on Sunday afternoon down at Mercedes-Benz, and then
Is that what you're
watch
going to
it
do?
Sunday night. Yeah.
Is that what you're going to do?
Well, I got some friends who want to go to the game. So let's
Well,
go.
the Falcons are favored finally this weekend.
This is not good.
You don't
It
jinx
seems
them.
to me that they do a lot better when they're not favored. Yeah.
Let's just,
Hey,
I
man,
guess that's
a-
true. We were
man,
not favored against the
Saints
Eagles
is
either.
Going against New Orleans again.
Oh, we're going to smash them.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they took us lightly.
We're going to change.
First time around, they were like,
change
the
Drew
Falcons
Brees to Drew Peas.
That's going to be here, right? The New Orleans game.
We're
Thanksgiving.
gonna beat them.
Is that
We're gonna
Thanksgiving
beat
night.
them. We're gonna beat him so bad he won't even get in the Hall of Fame.
Is that
We're gonna
true?
knock him out of the Hall of Fame.
We're going to make sure that Teddy Bridgewater starts for him for the rest of the season.
That's Turkey Day, right?
No, this is Sunday, right?
They won.
Sunday is against
Tampa
the
Bay.
Bucks.
Oh.
Thursday, Thanksgiving
okay.
is against the Saints.
What time are these games? I have to go to my
1 o'clock.
future in-laws' homes.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock Sunday, and then the Thanksgiving game is the late game, 8 o'clock.
Oh,
No, okay,
Might
that's
be
late.
fun,
So I
too.
can't. Okay, but the Bills, they play at 1, I think. Are they the early game against Dallas?
They're playing Dallas. Oh, by the way, WSB Radio is going to be airing the Cowboys-Bills game.
Why?
Because it's Dallas is America's team, and we have access to it through our wonderful
Tell people the
feeds that we
reality.
have.
It's Thanksgiving. So just throw something on.
Why
That'll
wouldn't
take
they
up 5 hours.
I'm surprised you haven't had a fight with one of our program directors.
Alex Williams?
You know that Drew is. I don't know. What happened? Hey, Alex does a wonderful job over there.
I love Alex
traffic.
Williams.
You know that Drew is a gigantic Dallas Cowboys
I know
fan.
that.
Have you been talking smack?
I haven't been talking smack. Why? I forgot to.
Why?
Why am I going to talk smack?
No.
First of all, I'm a fan of a team that is the last 20 years have been non-existent. Basically,
You have no right to talk smack.
They're 7-3, and they've not beaten one team that was good. The 3 teams that they lost to were the Patriots, the Eagles, and the Browns won a game after that too. So I guess they were doing okay.
7-3. Could they go to the playoffs?
Yeah, if they win out. Yeah, well, we got Denver this week in Buffalo. We should be able to win that. But then it gets tough. We got the Cowboys, got the Ravens.
But what we want, Nick, is we want all of those AFC teams to keep winning. So that way it sucks for Buffalo because
No, we don't want. We want Buffalo up there.
See, you want the NFC teams, but we want all the AFC teams to win. So that way the Falcons have a better, clearer path into the playoffs, have a chance. Yeah,
like a wild card.
Well, we could still win the division too.
If Matt Ryan, it's one of those interesting things. If Matt Ryan gets a Super Bowl trophy, and it doesn't even matter how responsible he is for it in the game, his stats will get him in the Hall of Fame.
Hands down.
Without it, I don't think he gets in.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he gets in.
He just passed Warren Moon.
He did get MVP 1 year.
Yeah,
right.
2016
Super Bowl year, maybe. But it's going to be an argument. And I'm one of these people who I agree with this because the NFL Hall of Fame, unlike a lot of other halls of fame, has not been. It's hard. There's a lot of great players who are not in there. NBA, if you're halfway decent for 4 years, you're in the Hall of Fame. Baseball, a little tighter, but been around for so long. But
if you're a standout player in the MLB, you get in there.
Yeah, the NFL, that is a tough one. And some people think it should be tougher. And this is, I agree with this. Only people that don't bring an argument should be in the Hall of Fame. The only people that should be in the Hall of Fame are the ones that everybody goes, oh, yeah.
But I don't.
If you have to argue back and forth, then you're already getting to it. Like, you could hate Tom Brady, but no football fan's going to say, that guy shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. It's a no-brainer.
To fix that, Eric, what you should do is, it's in Canton, right? Is where the NFL Hall of Fame is.
You know what state that's in?
That's New York.
Oh, for God's sake.
Ohio.
There is a Canton in New York, but
I'm getting confused with Cooperstown. Cooperstown is in New York.
That's the MLB, right?
Yeah, which is MLB, and then Canton is Ohio. That's right.
Canton, Georgia has a great deli.
Oh, fantastic.
You wouldn't believe it. There's a lot of people.
Straight up
What they should do to fix this problem, though, is they have the normal Hall of Fame in Canton, and then right down the street, you make the Hall of Very Good.
Very good. The Hall of Very Good. These are people who are good. Hey, they're worth checking out. They're worth remembering.
Yeah, exactly.
A polite smattering of applause.
Yeah.
It costs $50 to get into the Hall of Fame and $5 to get in the Hall of Very Good.
Hey, I like to hang out with my own kind. I'm not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame either.
We can make the Georgia Radio Hall of Very Good.
Yeah.
You'll get in the Hall.
It's going to happen.
I'll get in the Hall?
Oh, you
Yeah,
will.
of course
What
you
hall?
will.
The Hall of Fame for
Georgia
radio.
Radio Hall of Fame.
I thought you had to pay to get in there.
No, you'll be nominated, and you can be nice and pay your $25 for a lifetime membership, but you'll get the votes.
Who's going to vote for me?
Everybody.
But we have another. Sabrina's going to vote for you. You know that.
Well, I don't know.
I've never voted in these things. You didn't get in, did you?
I didn't get enough votes.
You got nominated and didn't get in.
Hey, it was a pleasure to be nominated.
I think Southside Steve's in there.
He's in it. Yeah.
For me. All right.
Yep.
Nah, I love everybody. This is our last show for a while.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, well, we got tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to do our Christmas special.
Watch us right here on this Facebook page.
Oh, yeah, Facebook page. Yeah, you watch us put it together. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Gobble, gobble.
You know it.
Gobble, gobble.